Ukraine invasion would shock the world. Boris Johnson says the shock of any invasion of Ukraine by Russia would echo around the world, Boris Johnson has told world leaders. He said we must be unflinchingly honest about the situation in Ukraine and should not underestimate the gravity of this moment. In a speech at a security conference in Munich, Mr. Johnson said he does not know what Russian President Vladimir Putin intends, but omens are grim. And that is why we must stand strong together, he said. Western allies have warned Russia could invade Ukraine imminently, with over 130,000 of its troops near the border. But Russia has repeatedly denied any invasion plans, accusing the West of hysteria. Mr. Johnson stressed the UK still hoped diplomacy and dialogue would still succeed. Urging unity among the UK's Western allies, he said, every time that Western ministers have visited Kyiv, we have assured the people of Ukraine and their leaders that we stand foursquare behind their sovereignty and independence. How hollow, how meaningless, how insulting those words would seem if at the very moment when their sovereignty and independence is imperiled, we simply look away. If Ukraine were invaded, Mr. Johnson said we will witness the destruction of a democratic state, a country that has been free for a generation, with a proud history of elections. The Prime Minister warned that any invasion would also be met with sanctions on Russian individuals and companies. He said the UK would open up the Matryoshka dolls of certain Russian-owned companies and make it impossible for them to raise finance in London. His comments follow the announcement of new legislation allowing the UK to widen its sanctions against the country. If Ukraine is invaded, the shock will echo around the world, and those echoes will be heard in East Asia. They will be heard in Taiwan, he told the Munich Security Conference. Earlier, US President Joe Biden said he is convinced Mr. Putin has decided to invade and that an assault could happen in the coming days. Mr. Biden said the assessment was based on US intelligence, which suggested the capital Kyiv would be targeted. Moscow said it was conducting military drills and that some troops had been moved back to their permanent bases in recent days. But Western powers said they had seen no evidence of withdrawal, with US officials increasing their estimate of Russian troop numbers on Friday. Mr. Johnson traveled to the Bavarian capital on Saturday to join other leaders in speaking at this year's Munich Security Conference.